What's up, YouTube? So, a lot of people have been asking me, how do I actually wake up at 5 a.m. every morning? I have a couple of pretty popular videos on my channel about my early morning ritual, my routine that I do every morning that sets me and primes me for the day, and then why I wake up at 5 a.m. Those have been typically my most popular videos on this channel. And so I get a lot of people saying, that's great. I want to have a morning routine. I want to do things differently. I want to really set myself up for success. But how is it that you actually get yourself to wake up at 5 a.m.? So I'm just going to do a really quick live stream here, walk you through a couple of principles and things that I think will really help you wake up at 5 a.m. And I just want to encourage you to try it out. You know, if you're watching these videos and you're thinking, man, I am a night owl, my life is just kind of hectic and chaotic and all over the place, and I'd really like to have some structure, some discipline in my life, be able to wake up at 5 a.m. and just set myself off right, prime and prep my day so that I can actually be proactive instead of reactive, and really just walk through my day disciplined and accomplishing my tasks and priorities. Then I want to walk you through how you can do that. So the first thing is just making up your mind that that is what you want. I've shared in a lot of my videos before that I've been a night owl basically since high school. So for a decade or so, I've just been staying up way too late, and I got into this bad habit where in the middle of the night, that was my quiet time in the world because everybody else was asleep and I could be creative and I could accomplish stuff. And it just was never good. No matter how much sleep I got, I never felt rested. And so a couple of years ago, I changed that and I started waking up at 5 a.m. And I fought it and I resisted it, but it was the best thing that I had ever done with my life as far as productivity and energy and just establishing myself for success. And so I've never wanted to look back. I've always wanted to continue to get up at 5 a.m. and just push myself and develop this awesome morning routine that gets me to a place where I can be successful and accomplish my goals for the day. So I encourage you to do the same. But you have to first make up your mind that that's what you want. And so if you're watching the videos and you feel inspired, then just make a determination in yourself and say, I will try this, even if I am totally opposed to it, even if I've never been good at that, even if I've never been able to get up before 9 a.m. or whatever it is. Just say, you know what, I'm going to try this. And then I want you to set a short window for yourself, whether it be 3 or 4 days or a week. I wouldn't go longer than, 6 or 7 days, because what we want to do is accomplish something and achieve small victories step by step, which will compile onto themselves and really just compound and get us to where we want to go. And so even starting with 3, maybe 4 days and saying, I will do this, I will dedicate myself to actually doing that this week for 3 or 4 days this week. Then what you need to do is be specific about those days. Which days are you going to do it? I want you to do them in a row. That's going to help you. And so maybe it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Like, we're going to start on Monday and we're just going to keep this going. And so first you decide that you want to do it, and then you decide which days you're going to do it. And then you hold yourself to that. And you have to be very, very determined and driven on this. And you have to say, no matter what, I'm actually going to do this. And it's just a small window. It's only 3 or 4 days. So it should be achievable. It should be accomplishable. It shouldn't be that big of a deal to make happen. I can, put anything off for 3 or 4 days and make this my priority. So you have to make it your absolute priority. You have to develop an iron will around doing that. And so once you've fully determined and decided that you're going to do it, then you have to hold yourself accountable to it. And this is where you take a little bit of discipline. You have to start exercising that discipline in your life, which if you can't exercise discipline at this point in your life, you have other problems, and we can talk about that as well. You really have to get to a place where you are disciplined and you can exercise it to accomplish what you need to and what you've set yourself out for. So the next thing is just developing an iron will around it, where everything revolves around making sure that you actually stick to your guns on this and actually go to sleep early and actually wake up at 5 a.m. And so for 3 days or 4 days or whatever it is that you've set as your time frame, you revolve every piece of your life around that being your number one priority. So that means that you have to get done working a little earlier. You need to unplug, around 8 o'clock at night or whatever it is. A lot of people need 6, 7, 8 hours of sleep. You have to decide that for yourself. And so you have to set that for yourself. When do you need to be done working and when do you need to actually go to sleep by? Now you're changing your habits. You're not going to be able to fall asleep right away, most likely. But what you need to do is get into that habit and that discipline of prepping yourself and giving yourself every advantage to actually achieve this. So unplug from work at a certain time, like 6 or 7 or 8 at night, and just be done and just say for 3 days, I'm not going to push myself in that area. I'm just going to unplug and be done and start relaxing. And then that means that you need to start going to bed earlier. So you need to set yourself an actual bedtime, whether it be 9 p.m. if you need 8 hours of sleep, or maybe you can do 10 or 11, but you have to start pulling yourself away from everything else that you want to do and just go to sleep and be disciplined at that. So go lay in your bed and then be disciplined enough to not be on your phone. Looking at that blue light before you go to sleep is a huge killer to our ability to sleep. It actually wires our brain and gets those visions flashing. And that blue light is something that will actually keep us awake for much longer. Same with TV. So no phones, no TV after you go lay down in bed. If you want to read a book or if you want to just kind of like lay there and think and process, great. But do something to get yourself away where you can just go sleep. And then you have to just set your alarm for 5 a.m. and be excited about it. Set yourself something that you can be excited for so that when you wake up and that alarm goes off, you don't hit the snooze button and roll back over. You have to remind yourself why you're doing this. So set yourself a goal, set yourself something to be excited and determined about so that when the alarm goes off, the first thought in your head is, yes, today is the first day of this test for myself. And as soon as I get out of bed, I'm going to do this, this, and this. And that's why having a morning routine is so helpful, because it actually gives you something to look forward to every day to accomplish. And so have something you're excited about, have something you're determined to do as soon as you get up, and maybe, spend some time watching my morning routine video and develop for yourself a series of things that you're going to do when you wake up in the morning. First thing I like to do is smile and just remind myself to have a little gratitude, to be excited for the day, to be thankful. And then I drink some water because we have to replenish ourselves. And then I get up and I go stretch. And those are my things that I do immediately before I go through the rest of my routine. So you want to develop 3 or 4 or 5 things that you're excited about and you're going to do so that your brain gets kicked into gear as soon as you hear that alarm go off. And you're too excited to hit the snooze button. You say, this is my test. I'm going to do this. And so those are the things that I think can really help you get into a routine where you can actually wake up at 5 a.m. Most people don't have the willpower to do it on their own, but that's because they don't set up the system that's actually going to help them do that. And so you may just view this as a test. I want to see if I can become a morning person, if that's a better thing for my life. And so start with 3 or 4 days and do that and do it in a row and be excited enough that you actually achieve that every day for 3 or 4 days, and be disciplined. Go to sleep at a certain hour and then wake up right when you hear that alarm, and do it for 4 days. View it as a small test. And once you're done with that, you can look back on it and say, I've done it consistently for 3 or 4 days. How do I feel? Do I think this is worth it? Is it better than staying up late? Because, I'll tell you what, for me, it was night and day different. I was waking up at 5 a.m. and I would smile, I'd get a drink of water, I'd go stretch for 20 minutes, and then I'd go for a run every single morning. And while I was running, I was praying and thinking and excited about what I was going to do, and I was setting the goals for myself. And then I'd come back in and I'd write out my goals and priorities for the day. And every day I felt so on fire, so alive, so excited to achieve my goals and to accomplish something new, that I just said, man, this is different. And I have energy and I'm pumped. And I'm being proactive. I'm actually accomplishing more in one day than I have in a week prior to doing it this way. And I don't feel sluggish or down or groggy, I'm not dragging. And so it was so evident to me that I wanted to make this part of my life that I kept doing it consistently. And it's been 3 or 4 years now. And there's been times where I've fluctuated out of it, but I keep coming back to it because I see that this way of life is so much better than what I was doing before. And so you'll know after doing it for 3 or 4 days, whether it's something you want to do that's going to benefit you, or if maybe there's other way that you can be more successful or get more rest or whatever it is. But I highly believe that it can benefit every single person to do this and to do it consistently. And you'll know after giving yourself that short window whether it's right for you or not. So I encourage you to do those things. Decide that you want to do it. figure out which days you're going to do it and hold yourself to it, and make an iron will around saying, I will do it these days at all costs. Everything else in my life that would kind of hinge on this or pull me away from it has to revolve around setting me up for success. So that means I need to unplug early, need to go to sleep early, I need to not look at my phone, I need to not maybe don't read a book if your mind gets wired or whatever. So just whatever it is, you have to be disciplined in doing it for a few days, and you will be successful at waking up at 5 a.m. And find an accountability partner. That's the other thing. Find somebody else that wants to do this with you, and text them in the morning when you get up. That's one of the biggest things that keeps me getting up at 5 a.m. is I have a good friend, and you can check out his blog. Actually, it's 5amjoel.com. Google it, 5, the number, and then amjoel.com. And him and I have been accountability partners for this for 2 years now, where every morning, the first thing we do is get to the phone, we wake up, and I shoot him a text, and I'm like, hey, man, I'm awake. And he shoots it back to me, and that holds us accountable to actually getting up. So find an accountability partner. You know what? If you want me to be your accountability partner, I don't know how many views this is going to get. I don't know how many people are going to reach out to me on that, but leave a comment down below, and maybe we can set something up for a week where I will text you first thing at 5 a.m. and make sure that you're up, or I will make you text me so that I know that you're being accountable to getting up. So I hope that helps you guys. I'd love to encourage you and inspire you to wake up at 5 a.m. because it will change everything for you like it has for me. Hope you have a great day. God bless you guys. I'm Kai Block with Limitless North, and I will catch you on the next one.